What's up, everybody? Just want to give you a quick rundown of my Firestick builds that I make for sale. Um, just give it a second here to load up, and we'll give you a little rundown. So when you first start up, it's going to start up with the registration. If you have an account, you can set up an account, and it's also going to ask you to modify your network settings if you want to. Just let it sit here. It'll actually go into the TV launcher build in just a second. It'll automatically do this, so you don't have to worry about this. If you have an account, you can set up an account, but just go ahead and let it go anyway. Alright, so then once you get into this setting here, you can go into your Fire TV settings or Fire MC. This is the basic build of what I make here with the NES emulator here, the Super Nintendo emulator. This one here is the Genesis emulator. Let me give you a quick rundown of the settings. Once this loads up, you can actually go in here and you can adjust your system settings and your Bluetooth stuff. If you have an account, you can actually register your account here with Amazon. You can make a false account with Amazon if you want to. Just don't put any credit card information. Your system settings, you can go in here and you can adjust your system settings, and you can go into your network, and this is where you set up your Wi-Fi. It's just like the camera focus here. Sorry about that. And then you'll have to do that in order to actually have any sort of service at all to set up your Wi-Fi. You have to have a Wi-Fi connection. Let me go back. And always hit the back button with if you hit the home key on this, you're gonna have this one right here. You're gonna have to set up a network system. It will go back into the register. If you don't have a register account with Amazon, never hit this home button ever. Okay, if you accidentally hit it, just unplug your stick and plug it back in, and it will pop back up in the screen automatically. Alright, let me give you the basic rundown of the Fire MC. This is the Kodi version that I use. It'll pop up here and load up. Fire TV Guru. And we're in Kodi. So when you first start off, it'll start off in system. You don't really have to mess with any of this stuff unless you really want to. You can change your skin settings and whatnot if you want to customize it. I don't suggest you mess with these unless you feel comfortable doing it. And then you got your movie apps. Down here are my favorite ones. The Zen, Exodus, Specto, Salts, HD Box. A lot of people like using this other stuff that's up here, but I mean it's just there as a backup for the most part. You got your TV shows, you got your all-in-one, which is just basically it does streaming and it does all kinds of whatnot. There's so many different options of different things you can stream on here that it's kind of ridiculous, really. But you got so many options. You can find pretty much anything. You got Kids Corner, Sports Center, Music and Streams, Miscellaneous, which is fitness, mainly fitness up at top, and then down below is Asian and Latino television entertainment. You got Her Place, which a lot of women, I guess, want this stuff. If you want to get rid of this, I'll show you guys how to do that. And the skins options, if you want to. Add-ons, you don't really have to worry about unless you want to, unless you want to take away or add on new stuff, but that's more advanced settings as well. I got help. There's help videos on here, which is very useful if you actually want to try to get into advanced modifications of your system. You'll go in and you'll find. And by the way, this is the old basic Firestick, so it runs a lot slower than the new ones. Anything that you guys get from me is going to run a lot better than this, but it will tell you how to use the wizard and the advanced cache settings, which I don't suggest you mess with. You can download and hide the XXX if you want to. I don't have the XXX, the adult stuff, on this build here, but I can always install that. It's no problem. Customizations and stuff, this stuff will help you out if you want to actually update the skins and whatnot, and the options that are here. Alright, and that's basically it. If you ever want to exit out of this, I should say, you go to this power setting here down at the the bottom of this. This will get you back into the TV launchers. You can go into all the apps that are there. If you just have Kodi on this, you can just leave this up all the time. If you have the games and stuff, you want to hit this power button, hit the center button on the remote here, and it'll just give it a second, and it'll go back into the TV launcher. Anytime you make any changes when you customize this stuff too, you're going to want to do that so it saves. Alright, let's go into some of the game stuff here, and I'll just give you the rundown of the remote that I got that comes with this. So let's go and check out SNES, because I feel like that's the most popular one. Alright, so here's the, this is not really gonna, there we go. Alright, SNES 9X EX Plus 1.5. This is the current build that's on here. If you guys are comfortable with doing the game input stuff and let me get this focused again, sorry. If you guys are comfortable setting up your controllers and whatnot, this is where you would do the gamepad controls and everything. I already have, if I send you everything, a remote, I'll have it all set and ready to go. Alright, so we got load games and recent games here. These are the games I've already started up and I've already played. Let's do NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Let's do a restart game because I'm just going to start it from the beginning, and there's NBA Jam. Get my remote working up. Alright, so what do you want to do with the remote? The Bluetooth remote that I include with this, if you choose to get it. If not, you start it up, and it starts up in mode 2, which is keyboard mode. In order to get it to regular gamepad mode, you hit the mode button and the X button, and then you see it lights up with the first spot here. And now you have a regular remote. Now this is already mapped to work perfectly with all the systems I have on here, with the NES, Genesis, and the Super Nintendo. And this is just the basic stick that I'm doing right now. I'm going to be doing the Android boxes and the TV boxes, which are more powerful, that will able to hopefully get some more advanced systems on there, like N64 and PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 even, hopefully. And then you can also use this with any other Android games that you get from the Android store or the Amazon store, if you register it and choose to do that. This is basically set up just like, a Super Nintendo remote is. When you got A and B, and that's going to be your regular Nintendo controls, and then with the Genesis you're going to have X, A, and B. Those are going to be your 3 buttons that you're going to use for a Genesis game, and then of course the regular L and R buttons. The neat thing about having these emulators and having this controller is also you can set turbo buttons if you want to. Actually, in regular Nintendo, X I believe is a version of a turbo button of B already automatically. Not 100% sure about that, but it seemed to be doing that by default when I was playing it and testing it out. The neat thing about R2 with, I'll show this right now, it speeds up the video. So any intros that you can't really bypass or anything, it'll help you play the game faster. And this is just getting through, see, I'll let go. Getting through any sort of intro, or if you want to run faster in a scene or something, that's great. But give you a little rundown, a little example of how this is working here. You can see I just hitting the button, going through the press start, head to game, practice. We'll do head to head. I'll just go to practice for now. And I'll pick my favorite team that was always the worst team to actually play anybody with, which is Charlotte. Focus camera. Focus. Maybe we'll focus here sometime. Alright, I don't even remember how to play this, but you can use the joystick, which is nice. Pass. Okay. Turbo dunk. Nice. Did I miss that? Alright, you see everything's working perfectly here. I'm gonna go ahead and with the games, in order to get back, you'll have to use the Firestick remote, and you hit the back button, and it'll ask you if you want to exit. This will exit completely out of the application. It will go back to the TV launcher. I'm gonna hit no for now, and it will go into the games. Just if you want to just pick a different game, you hit the menu button here, this one right here, and then you can choose whichever games you want. Hit back and you'll go into load game, and here's all the games that are for the NES. And this is already focus camera. This is already set up to where it actually finds them where they're located on the stick, so you don't have to worry about that. But here are all the games for SNES. And come on, focus. Alright, sorry about this, guys. But I'm in the D's. There's Demon's Crest, all the Super Mario Brothers on here, Earthworm Jim, F-Zero, Fatal Fury, Final Fight, The Legend of Zelda's, Metroid, you know, Mortal Kombat, pretty much any game that you can think of. If you want to know if a specific game is on here, we even have, you know, import games and everything. If you want to know about a specific game, just let me know, ask me if it's on here, and I'll look it up for you. I mean, I'm sure it is, but these are tons of Metal Morph, Metal Combat, yeah. But I'm not going to go into details on the rest of the systems or anything. You exit the game and you'll go right back into this. And yeah, that's the basic setup. I'm not going to go into the rest of the systems just because, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. If you have a specific system that you would like to be installed on here, I'll take a look into it and see if I can do it. But yeah, that's the basics rundown. A little quick note about these game pads. I'll have them completely set up. I've only tested out one controller so far because that's all I have just to test out. But I'm not going to be charging, you know, an arm and a leg for these controllers. I'm going to charge $20. And these are really nice controllers. $20 and it'll be set up ready to go, and you're really only paying me for the controller and the couple minutes of time that it's going to really take me to set it up. Once it shuts down, it's going to shut down automatically after 10 minutes. But once it shuts down, just remember, every single time you want it to go back into gamepad mode, when you start it up, it's not going to work as a regular gamepad. It's not going to do anything. You have to hit mode X, and then it changes to the gamepad mode, and then you can use it as a regular controller. And I actually suggest, if you have this remote, use this remote instead of the Amazon remote, just so you don't hit that home button. This you can do everything with, except for when you're in the game system, you have to use the remote to actually get back out of it, just because nothing is set up on this remote just so you don't accidentally hit something, for the most part. That's basically the only reason that is. If you accidentally X out of it or whatever, I don't want anybody to do that when they're playing a game. That's a pain in the ass. If you want, I'll look into possibly mapping a button that's not used, which would be the L2 button, to get out of a game and get into another one. I'm going to look into that, but as of right now, this is how things sit. This is how things are going to be on my systems. If I change anything anytime soon, I'll let you guys know, and I'll update this video. But yeah, that's it. If you guys have any of this stuff from me, I hope you enjoy it. I'm always here to help if you need any help figuring anything out. If you have any problems, just let me know. Peace out.